I'm very excited today to show you a new feature in Deep Space, a procurement schedule, which allows you to manage your procurement packages. So let's have a look at it. If we go to procurement schedule, this feature is available right now. And what it allows us to do is to create packages of things that we need to procure. So typically I may need to buy materials, I may need to engage subcontractors, a bunch of different things I have to do. So let's go through the very, let's say, simple process of creating a package. Firstly, we go add package. And if the package is in a draft state, we can keep it very, very simple. And we could just call this structural steel, and I can hit save as draft. So immediately we now have the structural steel package created, but it's now going to go through a life cycle. There's going to be a number of things that happen. And just for example, we may have our own package numbering system in the business, so we could put in a package number, and we may add some additional description and details in here. We can see the categories can be chosen. We can set a priority, which allows us to identify if something is a critical item or a long lead time item. We can also set a cost code directly here on the procurement item and an initial estimate. As we move down, we can see that someone can become the procurement owner. That person then is basically the one who's going to drive this procurement package to completion. Additionally, we can start to choose who we're going to go out to in order to actually get this procurement done. And so we can choose a number of different suppliers from our supplier directory. Now, one of the key things before switching to the live state, and we can even see this as we do it, if I try and switch to live and hit update package, it'll immediately tell me, hey, you need to do these things. So we need a required on-site date. And this is how a lot of these things work. Obviously, by the 30th of April, we've got to have the structural steel on site, and there's a 45-day lead time, and there's a number of steps involved. One activity step is required. So if we come down here, this is something that you will innately know about procurement, but basically we might do things like we might write a scope of works. And we can set intermediate dates in here. So this might be done in the next few days. And you can see immediately there's a calculator down here that's saying how many days kind of between all these activities and our required end date. So I'll fill in some more of these activities now. Right, so we've created the activities, and the final date there actually aligns with our end date, and we can click Update Package. Now the package has now moved out of the lifecycle state for draft and is now in the live state. We could search for it, and we can view it, and we can now see the suppliers here that obviously we're going to go out to, and we can start to track the progress as well. So as we go through these various stages, we might do things like marking who was awarded the bid. We could also start marking off the particular steps, which will then immediately update the progress bar in here as well. Now, once we reach a point where we're ready to award this contract, we want to issue a PO. So if I click on linked POs, I can go to PO register, and now I'm going to create a purchase order for the steel. Now we can just approve it. So purchase order has been generated. Let's go back to procurement schedule. We find our live procurement package, and we can go linked POs and link the PO. And we've found the PO here, and we can link it. You can see it automatically set the awarded supplier as well. So if we went back in and hit edit, we can see here it's marked as awarded, awarded to, and even under the supplier tab that shows up. Now this works as well with subcontracts and purchase orders. Now this is one complete flow that you can see spans across two modules, that is procurement and purchase orders. And obviously you've seen how it ties in with things like our contractor directory. as well as cost codes and other things. Now, some people may drive their procurement from their construction program. So here we can see that we've got a very, very minimal construction program. What I'm going to do is add a task for steel. Now, in reality, this might mean, perhaps it might mean erect steel, right? Because we actually have to start installing it once it's delivered or procured and delivered to site. So we're going to set a start date on the steel erection and an end date. Or we can set a duration just directly in here. Then we create the task. So that's fine, very quick and easy to create the task. But now the interesting thing is I can click on the program line item and I can just quickly scan down and say, oh, I need to do procurement for this item. So I can enable procurement and I can choose to link existing or create a new package. Now we already created it, so we could go link existing. Or if we went quick create, we would see just a cut down view here and we can quickly create that package. So let's link existing. We know that we've created it already here. Can you see how the procurement line or bar is shown here now next to the actual start date for erecting the steel? So our procurement is linked up to our program and we can either create those procurement tasks first or we can create them directly from here. Now if we go back to procurement schedule, this feature I really love is we can click on timeline view and we can quickly scan and see these exact dates of each activity, when they're supposed to happen in a very clean and simple timeline view. And we can click on things and actually modify and update them in the sidebar as well. We also have import and export features. And the final thing I want to show you is as we go through, we might put in these estimated costs, right? But what could happen is we then may procure at a different price than what we issued the PO. So I've scanned or I've filtered down to just this structural steel line item. You can see here I can enable the PO value next to the forecast value. I can also enable the linked PO to see the PO there. And what this allows me to do is very quick spot check to say, well, I forecast the steel to be this amount, but the actual issued purchase order was this amount. And I can also see it summarized at the top, even across multiple tasks, which respects these filters. So this is just a very, very quick intro to show you how the Deep Space Procurement Schedule works. And we look forward to you using it and to hearing your feedback.